Hello, welcome back to the Your Everyday Strength podcast. My name is Josh Sternberg, and if you're just joining us here for the first time today, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. If you are returning, I appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you very much for being here again. Today's guest is a very special friend of mine, Mr. Jeremiah Uzel. I'm going to fuck this up. We just went through this. You say it.
Uzel
Passaci. Uzel Passaci. There we go.
Yeah, boy.
I literally said to him right before we started, I was like, I'm going to mess this up. And of course I did. But Jerry is the man who actually ticked off my Cert 3-4 way back in the day.
Crazy.
This is the man I started my PT journey with. And yeah, I've known him for a fucking long time. So I want him to give himself a bit of an intro and we'll go from there. Rip in. Let's go, my boy.
All right. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on the potty, my bro. It has been a really cool journey watching you and developing this podcast too. It's crazy, bro. The growth that you've had over the last 5 years, especially, really inspiring. And like, we kind of knew that was going to happen when we first met you, dude. You just had this like innate urge to learn. Hey, it's pretty special.
I appreciate that, man.
Joshy
the only way to grow.
Hey, right, stay coachable. Joshy started with us at a gym called AMPM. We had opened for a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away, and then we got to cracking. He was full of beans, full of beans. Man, we were doing some crazy stuff, I think, at the time. Well, what were we doing? Training for Ninja Warrior. Yeah. We were training for Ninja Warrior when that gym opened. But you'd been on the scene before then too, though. Like, you'd come to all the Cali meets and all that type of stuff. And a little bit of background on myself and my own training. That's pretty much where I started my, I suppose, health and fitness journey in the industry. It was there, and then with our friend. And Yokes, rest in peace. And basically, after that, it was like jumping ships between different gyms, like studio gyms, F45, obviously, when it was raining. I had this couple studios I was involved with in Labrador and Carrara, and then AMPM came about, and I made the full-time commitment to go over there and help kick on what was started. Obviously, things change a lot over the years, and we have now got that same facility and its legacy through movement, which is really, really cool. And we've been operating now for the last 4 years as a boutique style group coaching facility. Man, it's crazy, man. What a crazy time of life we're living in at the moment. Let's go.
I think you're severely underselling that facility because it's for anybody who doesn't know, group fitness has a connotation around it. There's group fitness and then there's community. And I think the two are very, very different. And what Jerry has been able to create firstly at AMPM and then carry that through to now legacy is something that unless you actually get to experience it for yourself, you just truly don't understand the difference, like the actual difference in what that is and what that actually looks like, because it's so much more than just group fitness. It is genuinely a community. It's a family. It's everything. Like, it really is everything.
Yeah, real talk. And
you've been able to create that.
That's incredibly flattering, my brother. Thank you so much. It's pretty cool. Man, you got away with words, hey?
It just stems from, I think, what everybody sort of fell in love with calisthenics in the beginning, and that was quite literally.
That was
Cali's fun as fuck. It's great.
100%.
It's sunshine. It's beach. It's at the bars with the boys, but it's the community. It is all of the boys and girls coming to throw down together, coming 100%. To train, coming to boogie. No matter if you can do one pull up or you can do 20 muscle ups in a row, you were there throwing down as best as you could with everyone in the sunshine. And that's truly where it started.
Absolutely. And, like, I think you can vouch, like, we took that too. Like, obviously, we had a big missing part And in regards to I suppose, we would call him our teacher for sure. We call him our sensei. And, when that left, like, far out, man, it was pretty insane. We had this massive community around us who he had pretty much created, and like watching him obviously over the years that we got to train with him and learn with him, and was incredible privilege. And oh man, I'm so grateful for those days, because I actually started to really hone in on who I could be. And that was only because of him and the community that we had around us. And I'm pretty sure it had the same effect on you too, bro. Watching you grow through that as well was just insane.
I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today without that community, without a doubt. Everybody that came into my life through that time and all the rest of it, like, it genuinely I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, that's for sure.
Nah, man, that's crazy to say. Hey, and I'm obviously the same, and we have got so much to be grateful for in regards to the community that was built then, and obviously the communities that we are a part of now too. Like, man, you're like for powerlifting community. We got obviously our community at Legacy, which I'd love to see you in, by the way, one day. I think I had a yarn with James Henny, plug James Hendry. I had a little yarn with him, and he might pop his head in soon. He's doing big things.
Yeah, he's lean boy now.
Yoked day.
He's lean boy now. We'll see. I had good teachers. I had to follow all you boys.
It's the vibe, hey. That guy's got incredible energy, like yourself, and it's really cool to see us all and where we are in the industries now. And obviously, it all starts with community. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy. And you know what? I don't really ever think about it.
It has been a journey.
100%.
Well, the interesting thing, and actually one of the reasons that sparked in my brain to actually reach out to you in the first place was when I first met you, you were 29, just about to turn 30. It was just before your 30th birthday, I think we actually met. And I'm 29 now, about to turn 30 next month.
That's crazy.
I was sitting there and I was like, fuck, dude, like I'm now the same age you were when I met you. And I've obviously, like, you've been a huge part of my growth, and I've been able to see and witness a huge part of your growth through both in the gym and external to that with Ames and the family and all the rest of it.
Hey, so thank you.
I want you to give like just a little bit of an insight even into some of the growth that you've bared witness to within yourself, and just how the community with fitness and all the rest of it has come about. But I also definitely want to touch on you becoming a father and things like that as well, because even since then, I've always known you to be hardworking and fucking cool and full of energy. But just, I saw a shift, and it was only through social media, but you could still see this massive shift within you. So give us a bit of an insight into all of that.
So, oh man, social media is to start with, right? Like, I think social media urges people and it pushes people, and like you can use it so many different ways. Because you gotta kind of weigh it up. Social media is community now. You know what I mean? And like you've got your followers on your podcast that will listen to you avidly and follow what you do. And I think that was a massive part of it too. In my own growth, because I was doing like, we were going straight down the influencer stream. Yeah, and I had so many people through that whole crash. Crazy, huh? And I was just like, I just had so many people through those times. We'll start with AMPM that were just going through so much grief. And I myself was going through it too. You know what I mean? And I seen you did a podcast about this. And a lot of people relied on the rocks of the original community to like help them shift through what we were all going through together. And that forced a huge amount of growth in me. It forced a huge amount of growth because I'd made mistakes going through grief myself. And then I was like, okay, something's got to change. And in order for me to be able to be somewhat of a leader to a community that was grieving, I had to make some serious changes, had to take a serious look at myself in the mirror. And this is one of few And we'll get to the fatherhood part too, because that was a big part of it as well. And once I kind of realized that, I was like, okay, social media is a really cool avenue that I can like reach out to people that might be too scared or might feel like they're alone. And I use social media for that purpose, was to just like push real positive energy out into the world and push like, man, we're pushing like super greens at the time, just pushing healthy, active lifestyles, pushing calisthenics, pushing our classes that we were running together at the gym, bro, and getting people into the gym feeling good again. Man, that was a massive growth part of me, because what I saw that do for others and our community in AMPM really lit a fire in my soul, and I really felt like I was doing something special in the honor of our mate who'd passed away. So that's probably my very first experience with real growth as a man and type of leader in that community. Obviously, over the years, everything kind of shifts, and the next step was legacy. Yeah. And obviously we went through those times. We went some pretty interesting times with the owner then, which we don't have to touch base on, but it all kind of like worked out for the best. And fortunately enough, I had my business partner come through, and he had reached out. He's like, hey, yo, I know that you may be able to take over this facility. Do you want me to help you out here? And I was like, 100%. When you think about my business partner and what he is for his community and what he is for the Broncos, it was pretty much a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And I knew that, and you'll understand this too. I knew that type of person will 100% help me grow even more into someone that I need to be for an ongoing community. So that all happened. We took over legacy. We're still doing the same thing. Remember I hit you up, bro? I'm like, bro, what are your thoughts on strength training and functional strength training in group coaching environment? And like, we had a yarn about it, and like ever since then my whole focus went on, okay, this facility, that's what our niche is going to be. We're going to create strong bodies. So we dedicate 3 days a week to splits, and we worked on, like, I think we just did West Side barbell 5x5. It was real simple, but it worked, man. And we were seeing these results come through people over like 12-week blocks, and I was like, oh, okay, this kind of works. And you gave me a good insight into it at the time as well, and we kind of just ran with it. Now we've got a full program, undulating program, that we have an awesome programmer who does all that stuff for us, and our team's epic in what they can do as far as coaching and coaching delivery. But like, one of the biggest things that kind of drove my growth in that sense in the start of legacy was the same thing that we had with AMPM. And with AMPM was calisthenics, it was ninja training and all those types of things. And the difference was that we had to let go of that, right? We had to let go of that to stay, I suppose, to stay significant in a world that was changing in our industry so rapidly. Like, people are like, with social media, once again, and you do a really good job, bro, I'm so proud of you, is like, people know shit now. Do you know what I mean? People actually know shit now. So you can't just talk out of your ass like you think you know what we're talking about anymore. And that was like, okay, sweet. That instantly became one of our biggest values, and it was to educate. And we love to educate our members on what we can do as far as nutrition and training and all that type of thing. So massive part of growth there was leaving what we knew, stepping into something that we weren't, I suppose, incredibly experienced in, running with what we were taught, speaking to people like yourself, like Henny. I went and did a workshop with Henny. He taught me a lot as well. He's an amazing teacher, and I ran with it, and it was cool. But obviously, with having to let all that go, you also have to, like, man, I got into some sticky situations where we were turning into this new functional strength gym or group coaching facility, and we had to let go of like gymnastics and like one of our coaches at the time was running youth athletes out of there doing gymnastics while we were trying to run strength classes, and it was just like such a mess. So like another part of growth was like, all right, unfortunately I got to like try to sacrifice what we knew and not so much push away, but just like let people know that this is the avenue we're going down. If you can make it with us, epic. If you can't, and I'm sorry, we've got to make the best decision for our community. That was huge, bro. That was huge. Heated. My phone overheated. That's crazy.
Spitting too much heat.
Oh no. But yeah, like we were saying, man, it was like that was a really big growth part because I've never really had to do that before, man. Do you know what I mean? I never had to say, hey, look, like we're gonna go down this direction, and I would love you to be a part of it. But obviously, if that's not something that you're into, then we can't really cater for what you need. Once again, big growth point for me, and that particular coach ended up opening her own studio. So really cool things. It wasn't all bad, and at the time it sucked for both of us. It really did. Because like you never want to. I don't know, man. You got your people with you, right? And you always got to try to stay as loyal as possible to them. But then sometimes you can't really see that the next, like the other option or the other side of the, I suppose, the other side of the spectrum might not be that bad. Do you know what I mean? It actually might help that person grow more, which is crazy. And I learned that real quick, and it was really cool to see.
Oh, for sure.
Over the years, especially.
There's always, like everything always happens exactly as it's meant to.
Yeah, 100. It was really cool to see people grow after that situation. Do you know what I mean? Epic. And like that's happened quite a few times now. Obviously owning a gym and dealing with people management, and like I think the hardest part, and you mentioned this before, is like when you're a part of a community like Legacy, it's so close to family, man. It's so close to family. So if you have to say goodbye to someone, it's like, fuck, it hurts. You know, you do go through a grieving process. It's like, holy shit, that sucked. But it never really turns out to be that bad because you see those people like, I guess, months down the track and they're doing really well. And I think what I realized then was, oh man, okay, this place has a really cool, or this place in this community has a really cool way of getting people to a new level of themselves. You know what I mean? And like that was a massive thing for us. And it's something like you understand as well, like remaining coachable, remaining teachable is so important. Remaining a student of life is so important, because once that stops, there's no more fun. You know what I mean? You know yourself with how much study you've done. That shit's fun as fuck. And once you get to help
100%.
people with that, it's like, oh, bro. Once you get to help people with that, it's like, oh, whoa, that's my purpose. It's really cool, man. So like those are obviously massive growing pains, and then also growing gains, man. The biggest one, obviously, becoming a father. That was insane, man. Absolutely insane. Obviously not planned. Ames and I had only been together for like a year and a bit. Oh, bro. And like, no regrets at all. Like we absolutely love our boy and we love each other. And at the time, we just had no idea what we were in for. And I always thought to myself, like, I got nieces and nephews, and I was like, man, I'd be a great dad. Holy, what a kick in the teeth that was. Because, like, you get your nieces and nephews, right? You get them for a very small amount of time. And then you get your own. You're like,
and then you give them back.
Hey, straight up, G.
You get to give them back.
Yes, bro, you do. You get to give them back. And, like, we learned that really quickly. And I think Ames has always had this, like, maternal nature. And she's like, you know, Ames, man, she's full of energy. And that's exactly what our son is too. He's full of energy. You ask anyone in the gym and he's got it. But yeah, I think at the time we obviously fell pregnant with Gnarly. Ames owned a gym as well. And I was building Legacy with our team and my partner. And man, that was like the opening to where real growth as a man came through, like real growth, because I started to realize, okay, social media and all that type of stuff is great, and it's an awesome tool, an epic tool to outreach, but becoming a father through that era of social media, I was like, oh man, I was straight with comparison, thief of joy. You know, I saw all these dads doing so much for their kids, and I was like, fuck. Still renting a property I couldn't even pay rent for because we're trying to get things paid at the gym. We were paying bills and debts and all these type of things. And I was lucky enough to have one of my closest friends, my very first friend actually from high school, look after me really well, and I'll never forget that, Yatesy. And over those, I suppose, 9 months while building legacy and Ames is pregnant, we obviously had to make the choice to move in together. That was crazy, because everything was so quick. We were still such an immature relationship, and was such a young relationship. That was like, okay, the next step's like being forced upon us. So we had to make those decisions. And like legacy was like still building, and like Gnarly came that weekend. We had a jumper launch, and I remember I was supposed to take at least a couple of weeks off just to reset, and I was like, I couldn't, because things at the gym weren't organized before we'd left, and I've learnt my lesson since then, bro. Weren't organized before I left, and I had to get into the gym, help with merch launch and then certain classes. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. And all through that, I had the dawn service, and the dawn service was something I created for myself while we were going through the, I suppose what would you call it? The revelation of AMPM. And this is when I started the takeover of that lease. And at the time, I was going through a really hard time. This is pre-Amy, and the dawn service was like, man, I just couldn't sleep. Do you know what I mean? So I was like getting up 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning. Another bit of growth that I'd forgot to mention, and it was the only stability that I could find at the time that would help me grow and push forward through the adversity and through the drama that I was going through at that time, man. And after that, I was just like, okay, can't sleep, get your ass to the gym, go and train. And then I turned into an absolute weapon. I'd never been that type of lean in my life. I'd never been able to do the types of things that I was doing. I'd learned a lot from yourself and a lot from Henny as well in regards to like lifting. And man, in that little block, bro, that 6 month period, I'd like gotten like a 220 deadlift, and I was like benching 160, dipping 115 kilos on the body weight dips. Like it was crazy. And like I once again thank you and grateful to both of you fellas for teaching me so much about strength training at the time, because obviously that's where we are now with our community. But that's what dawn service was, man. And like dawn service then was me drowning in grief once again, but something I could hold on to for dear life. And it brought me life, and it brought me back out of those really dark places that you find yourself in as a man sometimes. And when we had Gnarly, I was in a dark place. Not a lot of people know this. When we had Gnarly, I was in still quite a dark place. And the reason being was like, back to what we were talking about, was comparisons, the thief of joy. Like I saw my bros out here having kids, and they were like supporting their families so well, and I just couldn't do that. And I was like, okay, dawn service, I'm gonna get my ass to training before Gnarly wakes up, before Ames wakes up, and then I'll go home and be ready and take over when Ames needs me. Have you ever heard of the term steel is the only loyalty, or something like that? You'll only find it steel is the most loyal thing. Iron is the most loyal thing you can ever think of, because it's always going to be there no matter what you're going through life. And that was training. That was the dawn service for me. It was like I could go to training, I could go to exercise, and I'd know that I'd always leave a session feeling somewhat better, feeling some more clarity, feeling more myself again. before obviously going back into the day, helping with the gym, helping with Ames and baby. And that was a huge growth point for me, man. And like, obviously we still run a dawn service to this day. I think it's been like 6 years. I get up at 2 a.m., go to the gym, train, run the gym. And then obviously we go about our day. And it's really funny because our household all go to sleep at 7. We're in bed at 7. What time do you go to bed, bro?
I go to bed about 7:30. Yeah.
That's gangster.
Yeah,
Do
7:30
you know what I
most
mean? I'm
nights,
like,
and then
nothing. What the fuck is
up at
happening
about
up to
4:45.
7 anyways? You're a Dawny.
Nothing. That's what I figured out years ago. I was like, I quite literally was sitting there one night, and I was like, fuck, I'm just going to try, and I tried to almost force myself to stay awake till like 10, because I was like, oh, I don't get up till 6. I was like, man, what the fuck am I doing? I was like, I'm most productive in the morning. I like the morning because it's quiet. There's no one else around. You can go and do whatever you need to do, and it's just peaceful. And so for me, it was, I'd be up
It's
at
so
3:30 every morning, straight down to Miami Beach for a walk with my dog in the dark. Before the world stirred, before everyone got up and about, and I'd walk and watch the sunrise over the beach, and I was like, man, this is fucking
You
beautiful.
remember running into us and my bodyguards? Getting big cuddles between the three
all
of
the
you. I was
boys.
like,
Even long before then, like we for years, like I'd always remember, we'd always, yourself, myself, like all the boys would just happen to be at either Burleigh for sunrise or Miami for sunrise, or like we would
frequency, hey.
always run into each other at sunrise somewhere. And I think for me, that was like, it's just such a beautiful way to start the day. It really is. There's no better way to start the day than fresh air, sea breeze, quiet, and sun.
Absolutely, especially on the Gold Coast, man. Like, I think, you know, another part of growth, and my partner, at least, he's massive on this, and he's taught me a lot about it, as well as like life experiences, having boy, being a figure for my son that hopefully one day he can be like, okay, I get this stuff now. And like the biggest thing that biggest thing that I've learned, especially through how challenging business can be, how challenging our industry can be, and how challenging a father can be, is attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
And if you're at the beach walking
Well,
on
you've
Miami in
always
the morning,
been, I was going to say, you've always been someone who I've known to like really express gratitude, not just in everything happening around you, but in those around you as well. And I think that was one of the biggest things that, from an energetic perspective, especially way back then, that I knew that drew me to you was that energy, was that you just had this like gratefulness for life despite everything you were going through at that time. And even if you were struggling, you mastered pretty bloody well, because you were just always so happy and friendly and grateful. And I feel like that's what really drove that community the most, was that energy and that vibe, like that vibration, because people fucking cling to that. They need that.
yeah, absolutely, and like I think especially like group training, community, our community now at Legacy, it's like you'll understand this about your clientele online and whatnot, and I think any other coach would too. Is like, if you don't have that attitude of gratitude towards the people who show up for themselves every day, you're gonna be alone, man. You're gonna be one lonely dude or one lonely lady. And like it's funny because like I know everyone is human, man. You know what I mean? We all bleed the same blood. And everyone has points in their life where it's really easy to forget that stuff, G. And like only recently, I had a dummy spit, like maybe 6 months ago, and I knew I didn't warm up properly. We had squat testing on the day, and I didn't warm up properly. And you'll understand spit like this. And I hit the bottom of my squat, felt the hip shift. I fucking drove through it, and I was like, "Fuck it, keep going." Got to the top, and I was off it. Because the first thing that went through my brain was like, if I had hurt myself, how the hell am I going to look after our community or my kid or my darling? And I was pissed off, bro. I grabbed my laptop where I was doing I was tracking my load. I just grabbed my laptop, I pegged it at my back. I was like, fuck, I was so off it. And I was like, you know the belt?
Oh, yes. Been there plenty of times.
That's my dog, eh?
Throw the belt, pick your bag up, go home.
What do they call it, my brother? They call it emotional integrity in the gym. But obviously, if you got people around you of the community who need to thrive on positivity, it gets hairy. But yeah, you're right, bro. It's like I think something that I've always known, especially with going through hard times, is if you express gratitude, no matter what you're going through, you always seem to find a positive to look at and focus on if you choose to. You know, and there's so many people, the world's so, like, with the world at the way it is right now, there's so many people that are like real troubled, man. You know, they're real troubled, and there's a lot of problems in the world, and everyone's walking around where, like, they're not as friendly anymore. And you can literally change someone's day by just saying, hey, it's so nice to see you today. I'm so grateful I got to see you. I'm so grateful you're here. And it's like, oh, because it doesn't happen very often. You know what I mean? Even we go to the coffee shop across the road. Say, hey, that coffee was amazing. Thank you so much. And they're just like, oh, what? It's just like what I do. Do you know what I mean? So like for people just to express it's just for people to express a little bit of gratitude. It can really change the world, I swear. Because it helps so much within a team environment, within our community too. And you start to think less about, oh, what's happening to me? You know, what's happening to me? It's like, oh, hey, this is all happening for me right now. And expressing gratitude for whatever it is can really change your tone of day. And it can change the person you are, and it can change people in front of you as well. You do it so well, man. You do it so well. I listen to your podcast, and like you have just an abundance of gratitude at the moment with what you're doing, and you've always had that. You've had so much respect, Mero. I remember when we were in AMP, and you were so respectful, and you're always so thankful for the time that we got to share together. I'll never forget that, Joshy. And like, if you're surrounded by people like that, you'll vouch. If you're surrounded by people who are grateful, it's so hard not to be grateful. Yeah, you're not going to sit there and go, oh, what about me? Do you know what I mean?
It is that, like, you know, the old saying, your vibe attracts your tribe, and
yeah, bro.
You are the sum of those you surround yourself with, and that's the biggest thing. And I've spoken about it quite a few times on the podcast with various different people around the communities that they're able to create within their own individual communities and things like that. And it all stems from energy and being grateful for the ability. Like, at the end of the day, training, like, it's something we choose to do. Like, we get to do it. Everybody has to work to pay bills, and you have to do certain things in your day. Whereas I think one of the things that's definitely kept me in training for years is I get to do it. Like, I get to go for a run. I get to go to the gym and train. I get to eat healthy to fuel it. And I get to show up, and I get to have my clients show up, and they get to see what it feels like when they show up for themselves. And it's like, this is what we want. Like, we're choosing to do this. It's not something we have to do. It's a choice that we make every single day.
What you just said, G. That's so special what you said just now. Because it is a fucking privilege, man. You know, it is such a privilege. You gotta look at the world, man. And like what you and I get to experience in where we live in Australia. I know we've got our own challenges in this country, but we are fucking blessed, man. We are so privileged to be training in the facilities that we do train into, and to be surrounded by the professionals we're surrounded by. You go to countries that, like, man, you got like, I see an African country the other day, they're training with concrete plates, man. Like, but they're doing it and they're grateful for it too. You know, like, that's what you just said was so special, man. And I've forgotten that. So thank you. I'm grateful.
I think we do get caught up in it. And like, you guys have got an amazing facility. The gyms I train at are amazing facilities, and you just highlighted it then. Like there's a team, and Henny can vouch for this. There's a team, a powerlifting team from Nauru. And Nauru is like a small island off the northeast of Australia somewhere. Their national sport is powerlifting. And when they first got into it and were coming over, we were told that they were actually bench pressing on cinder blocks with an ironing board as the bench. And that's how they would train.
That's crazy.
And I was like, man, I'm complaining. And I was like, oh, I complained last week because I didn't get to use my favorite bench at the gym. I was like, the fuck am I complaining about? Like, what am I even doing?
Oh man, and you're right. Sometimes and like it's funny because like you just forget to have that attitude of gratitude, right? Because it's so normal for us, and we're so lucky to have that. And I don't know if people actually know that. Like some people, I don't know if they actually know that, especially in our industry in this country at the moment. But yeah, that just blows my mind, man. Holy. they're benching off cinder blocks.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, and they had an ironing board, and they would they were all sharing the same knee sleeves because they only had one pair for like 20 different people, and just these little things like that. And I was like, at that time, I remember just being, and I was training in, Nexus was arguably one of the best, or is one of the best powerlifting gyms on the Gold Coast.
Crazy
with the top tier equipment, fanciest bars and the fanciest benches and all the rest of it. And I had got so complacent and used to that that I just didn't take a step back to be like, man, this is amazing. This bench is amazing. This bar is amazing. And I get to use it daily.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. That's cool.
And it's taking really, that moment.
Really cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like, and this happened to me. Sorry, after that moment with my squat, I pegged my laptop and I was speaking to a mate, and he's like, he just like out of his head, he's just like, yo, you know what helps a lot with anger? Being grateful. I'm like, oh, I'm grateful I didn't snap my back on that squat. And instantly I felt better. So if you're listening to Joshy's podcast and you're going through it, find something. Find something. There's got to be something you can be grateful for. Hey, bro. And yeah, like.
Oh, every day. I write 3 points every single morning. And even when I've been at the absolute bottom of the depths where I thought I would never get out of there, still looking for things to be grateful for. And sometimes they're great. They're massive things. They're amazing. These huge things. And then other times it's quite simply, I was grateful that I got to walk my dog this morning. I was grateful that I get to sit in a spare room of my house that's an office and a podcast studio with my dog every day. And I'm like, man, there are people who don't have houses. And I have a whole room that's dedicated to the things I love to do.
I got a funny story to tell you about people not having houses. So, the cost of living on the Gold Coast.
Oh, yes.
Well, Ames and I were so lucky to have her parents say, hey, look, we're going to come through and we'll reno a little bit of the bottom of our garage for you to come and move into. Anyways, basically what's happened is we're living with our olds now and we're so grateful. It's so beautiful. And man, it's like funny story. Last night I'm in bed, and because we're out deep in rural, I'm in bed. I hear this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I just opened my eyes, and there was fucking bat in my room, G. A fucking bat. And at the time, I was like, there was no gratitude then, G. I swear. But thinking back to it now, like, I'm so grateful to be here. But that was crazy. That experience, it was just one of the most.
Look, I don't want to find a bat in my room.
Oh, they're ugly motherfuckers too, bro. Holy cow.
Yeah, I've
And
not
I
had a
was
bat
like,
come into my room, that's for sure.
it's insane, bro. So like, you know, you're right, man. Like there's people who don't have really great living situation. We're so lucky to be able to have what we have and, you know, Amy's parents to look after us. And it's just sometimes, man, I don't know how you deal with it yourself and how you remind yourself to look for gratitude. But sometimes you lose it. Hey, sometimes you definitely lose it. So it's
Oh,
really cool
absolutely.
reminders.
It's
Yeah.
hard. It's fucking hard. Like when I moved, we were talking about this a little bit before the potty,
Mm.
but like when I first moved down here, it was probably one of the most challenging times I'd faced in quite a number of years. And there were days where I genuinely sat there and was like, fuck, I don't actually know if I'm going to make it through this. And I've made it through
Yeah,
some
bro.
shit over my time.
Yeah, you have.
And every single day, it just something as simple as being able to take myself out of my house and sit at the beach or sit by the river or walk my dog on the trail, or it was just these little of someone referred to it recently as like glimmers of hope. And it's
Yeah.
these little glimmers that in a big world, they don't seem like much. But at a moment when you are really, really struggling or you're fucking, there's not a lot else to be grateful for, you can find these little glimmers and they just, the more you focus on those, then all of a sudden more come and
Yeah.
more. And all of a
Yep.
sudden you change your mindset from,
Mm.
oh, like, fuck, it's shit weather or it's this or it's that. And it's like, man, I still get to, like, I still get the option to go for a walk outside with my dog on a Tuesday afternoon and just enjoy whatever the weather is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think, you know what, you just hit another
Actually,
nail on
really,
the head.
I was going to say, I think you're going to love this because this is something that popped up randomly. And again, it was one of those things that popped up at the most perfect time was we're very quick to get annoyed by the rain until we remember that that's how nature grows. And we're only surrounded by nature because of the rain. And
Wow.
if you imagine yourself as a flower or a plant that's been watered and nurtured by the rain, then all of a sudden the rain doesn't affect you anymore. And
Correct.
since living in Melbourne, where it rains a lot,
Oh, damn.
I used to hate the rain. I used to hate the rain. And now I'm like, every time I'm walking and it starts raining, I'm like, I'm grateful for this because it is allowing me to experience what's around me right now in nature and myself.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's crazy. I love that, Joshy. And like, oh, bro, yeah, I think, you know what's really cool though? I think I've got a little bit of envy for your client base. Is that sometimes too, if you're lucky enough, you can have someone like yourself, for me, Ames, or anyone that has that light, because like yourself and what you've just said to me, sometimes people can't see that stuff by themselves, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes that glimmer you're talking about comes from someone like yourself who's shed a little bit of light. So I'm fucking grateful for you, bro. You're a special dude. What you could do for communities past today is pretty insane, because you have such a positive outlook on life, bro. And that's awesome, especially like with the challenge that you've had whilst moving through your life and taking it all down to Melbourne with you. It's very special, my brother. So I'm so proud of you. Hey, look how much you've grown, man. Holy Josh. It's
Hey,
incredible,
I
bro.
had some fucking good mentors around me. You know,
You're
I
insane, man.
genuinely, as I said, like I wouldn't be here without the essence of AMPM and that community and like people like yourself and all the rest of it. Like that genuinely, I was so young and so I was 20 when I met you and I
Yep.
was 20 when I became, into that community, and I was young and I was lost and I was looking for anything, and
Mm.
again, the universe does what it does, and it delivered me into the community that was all of you guys and Yogs at the bars. And I remember meeting him a couple of times down the
Mhm.
bars, and
Mhm. I remember
every
those
single
times,
time
bro.
it was
Mhm.
as if you were the most important. You were the most important person in the world right at that point in time. every single time. No matter what, you were the person. You were the most important person in that world.
Oh, bro.
And that was the community that was like, fuck, this is what I want to be a part of.
Yeah, man.
The man.
The big man. Bro, you just nailed him so well in one sentence, hey. And you obviously know that we do our best to hone in on that with our values, with our community, and push that out into the world, because it's so easy. You'll vouch for this too. It's so easy when you're a busy person, and like busy as in you've got set schedules. You're 3:30 a.m. all the way to 11:30 a.m. and that Google Calendar is slotted and slotted and slotted and slotted and slotted. You're like, okay, next thing. And taking the time to just be present with someone in between a slot like that, or a schedule like that of life, when people know, is like really special. I know you've done that really well for yourself, especially like I think the relationships that you've cultivated at Nexus, for example, like, those wouldn't have happened if you weren't that type of dude, bro. You know what I mean? I'd like to think that we got that from him, man. And once again, there's that shining light, much like yourself, shedding a little bit of glimmer, and then that spreads ripple effect. And next minute, you're infiltrating positive energy into other communities, which you've done so well, bro. And that's really cool. Hey, it's really cool to look at it in that light, because man, you can look at that history in so many different lights, and that one's probably the best one. So thank you, bro. That's awesome. Holy.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's just like, it's something that I've thought about a lot over the years. And as I said, like before I reached out to you for this podcast, I was like, man, it's very rare and it's very special to be able to create an energy that people are so drawn to. And as you said, like, that hasn't come from ease. That's come from growth. That's come from having hard conversations. That's come from the feeling of potentially letting people down or hurting them in having to shift into what you knew was going to be good long term, even though you didn't really see the vision right there and then. You just knew that was the path to take, and it's cultivated into what you have now, which, as you said, like, you grow through so many different things in life. And as soon as we stop growing, as soon as we stop learning, that's when people die. That's it. It's over.
100. I couldn't agree more. Bro.
Constantly trying to grow, learn, develop in so many different ways, and taking bits and pieces from everyone around you is exactly how we continue to thrive. And
that's what we do, bro. And I think, are you familiar with the term Kaizen, bro? Kaizen.
Yes, I was going to get the symbol tattooed on my hand.
No way. Oh man, that's one of our values for our team and our community too. It's just like, doesn't take much to just be a little better every day. And at the moment we're running a habit challenge for our community, and it's all built up on building new habits to help people just shift through life, and obviously shift through life with positive change for themselves, for their health and fitness. And like, man, we have had people that like haven't been able to read a book, for example, and like that's one of the challenges in our habit challenge, is to like read 5 pages of the book. And I know it's not much, but like, what books have done for me, I know you're an avid reader, and you're actually a fictional reader too. Hey, that's crazy, bro. But like, what that's done for me,
I got 6 books on my desk at the moment.
Holy, that's crazy. I've got 1 book I'm reading at the moment. It's Mastery by Robert Greene, and it's an incredible book, bro. Incredible book. It's only small, but it's awesome. And it's like, what you've just done for our conversation is like, you have just brought on this like massive idea of gratitude and having that there and keeping that at the utmost. But that's a habit as well, right? You said yourself, you write 3. That's a habit. Is that hard for you?
Mm. Not anymore. Nah. It used to be. When I first started, I would struggle and I'd be like, fuck. And then other times I've heard of so many different ways people do it, and I might change sometimes. It can be grateful for one of my things this morning was grateful for my emotional regulation and growth that I've been able to facilitate.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
physically being able to witness my own ability to emotionally regulate better is something
Yeah.
that I'm grateful for because that's offered me opportunities.
Yeah. So like for example, yeah, regulate your emotions takes practice. Yeah.
Mm.
Practice is habit. Do you know what I mean? Practice is
Yeah.
you've created a habit where you've had to practice that on the daily with challenges that you've had in your life. And like I think everyone's got their own poor habits, and we don't need to focus on them because they're so easy to replace with good habits, man. Do you know what I mean? My own habits I've had in the past, drinking alcohol is a silly one. And it's such an easy one too, especially when you're a social person. So that was an easy one to chalk because obvious reasons. I don't like being inflamed when I'm trying to do a deadlift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously stressing out about business, and then replacing stress with gratitude is huge. I know you've been through your challenges with business too, and the gratitude you've expressed is obviously become habitual and helped you through those situations. So like, it's like, fuck, it's so easy, hey, it's so easy for people to when you think about it, it's so easy to guide people into a better frame of mind when it comes to gratitude. Because if you can create all these different habits, right, that you don't have and you're going through it, a lot of life around good habits tends to be quite positive. Do you know what I mean? And then what I've noticed for myself is that if I've ever had or harnessed a bad habit, it's actually been a detriment to my life. And it's like, oh, okay, sweet.
Mm.
What positive habit can I replace that one with to lift and boost? And like it's the same thing we've been talking about gratitude and all that type of thing. Gratitude is such a powerful one. And I think when we go back and we're talking about growth, becoming a father, one thing that I've known, bro, one thing over the last 3 years, especially with Gray, we call him Gray, Gnarly Ray, Uzel Passaggi. And one thing I know with Gray is that, bro, I can't wait for you to see him, bro. You'll lose it. But I've got a real bad potty mouth. And I know Aim's got a bad potty mouth too.
Oh yeah.
Do you know we got heaps of cyclists come out to Tally Valley? Get off the road, you wanker! He's in the baby chair, he's screaming. And like, it's like, we'll go back to positive habits, right? And this is a really cool one, bro, is because like Ames and I do things habitually, because you have to, as when you're in business, and you have to set routines, and you have to make sure your Google calendars are set up and all that type of thing. And when we talk about habits in what we do in our household, because we all run off the same timeline of the day, they get up a little bit later than I do, obviously. But small things like I'll go out, I've got a set of gymnastic rings. Yeah. I've got a set of gymnastics rings, and I'll go out there and do shoulder health with my gymnastics ring, and I do like scarecrows and whatever. Gnarly has so many toys, and he's so lucky that he has like our Amy's olds and us, and one of his favorite toys to play on is the rings because dad uses them. Now, when I grab the rings, it's like, nah, that's my rings, my time to train. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool. And another one, like you'll be proud of this one, is before he goes to bed, Are you grateful, son? I'm grateful. Like, what are you grateful for? Thank you for Nanny. Thank you for Poppy. Thank you for my bed. What about Mummy and Daddy? Thank you for Mummy and Daddy. And it's pretty insane listening to a 2-year-old turning 3 talk about gratitude and being grateful and, like really understanding that. Because the first things he speaks of are the things he loves most. Do you know what I mean? So we know he's like, oh, whoa, he's actually taking that on. So like, once again, attitude of gratitude and that becoming a habit, especially for yourself when you decide to go down that path. It's like, man, I don't know how these girls aren't throwing themselves at you.
It's because I stay in my room.
You can get out more, G. Scary out there, hey, bro.
I hang out with my dog at home.
You're a catch. And like when you see that, as a dad or as a parent, and you see, like, obviously they're going to take on your poor habits, but when you see your child, replicate the habits, the good habits that you have set for yourself, because they're going to help you in the life that you're living, and you see your kids start to doing that, oh, bro, that is just like, that is utter bliss, because like it's the perfect representation of, if I live my life to an absolute positive standard through habits that are going to help me become a better version of myself every day, I know my son is going to live exactly the same way. And that's a really, really special feeling as a man, my brother. It is a really special feeling, especially with all the nonsense that's happening in our world today. So that's been like coming to that realization too, bro. Is like, big part of growth. You know what I mean? And like,
I love that. That's beautiful. It really is.
Thank you, G.
It's I love something about that too. Is I've interviewed a few dads now, and unfortunately, I'm still yet to be a father, and I fucking cannot wait for that day. But every single dad I've spoken to have said very, very similar things, that their biggest thing that they love about what they get to do is watching their children pick up and take the same habits, knowing that it's going to benefit them in the long run.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And the importance of books. This is a big one. Yeah, the importance of books. And like, I'm not too sure if you know much about what's happening in the education system within Australia at the moment. We train a few teachers at the moment at Legacy, and they're all awesome. They're amazing people. But like, everything's going digital. You know what I mean? And like, I'll vouch for this. Some poor habits that Ames and I have. We love candy. We love lollies, bro. And lollies and sugar with our kid do not mix. I can't wait to show you that one. If you bring some lollies with you on the coast and you meet Gray, you'll see. So that's chalked, and we've gone down the Whole Foods path now, which is pretty cool and it's awesome. I think everyone should be living that way anyways, really. But screens, man. I'll tell you a crazy story about screens. One day I was just like, oh yeah, screens. My sisters let their kids watch some screens every now and then, and I see some people at the gym letting their kids watch some iPads. And I didn't know the effect, and like, each their own. Sometimes you gotta, like, kids are crazy, and sometimes, all right, man, sit down, watch this thing. Yeah. Especially as a very busy parent. But like, this one really got it for me in Ames. I'm sitting there and I'm playing my game, and I love computer games, bro. And Gnarly's watching YouTube, my very first experience, and we're so strict on this now. And there's a replacement for this too. And bro, this guy's pulling toys out of the bucket, and I'm like, oh, cool. It's like just a toy show. I'm like, I'm pretty safe with that one, whatever. Anyways, Gnarly's glued. It would have been about 2 at the time, just turned 2. And this dude starts to pull out guns and grenades, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm watching this YouTube, and my son's like, oh, what? And like, that's like some cryptic evil shit, man. So since then, bro, like, Ames and I, if I was to show you Gnarly Boys, yeah, you get it. if I was to show you Gnarly Boy's book cupboard, it's just covered in books. And him and Ames read a book every day, every night. And like, if we're chilling outside, he's like, Dad, you read me a book? I'm like, yo, go get a book. Let's read a book. So like, even that habit there, you know what I mean? That's fucking special, man. Because I know what he's gonna learn from books. Like, and you'll vouch for this. Books have been one of my greatest mentors and teachers, hands down. And
Yeah.
if we can keep leading with that and him take those habits, what we're trying to do now, and put books in front of him, and he takes on that student mentality to a book, holy, he's going to be a very powerful man, and hopefully, make an impact on the world, much like his uncle Yokes, and
I have no
much like
doubt.
us. So yeah, it's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah, it's sick. And like, even just on that, right? Like, you were talking about habits and what we learn from our parents and what you've been able to pass down to Gnarly. And like, I am only an avid reader because I grew up with a mum who would take us to the library once a week, and every birthday we'd get bookstore vouchers. And my dad read a lot of books, and my dad was also very physically active and doing triathlons and marathons and fucking road riding and running and all the
I
rest
didn't
of it.
know
And so that was the
Whoa.
environment that I was like, the reading was something that like mum would just turn the TV off on a Saturday and be like, all right, we're reading now for the afternoon. And we'd go get our books from the bedroom, and we would just sit there all afternoon on a Saturday and read. And we'd be allowed to watch a movie at nighttime, but it was like, nope, no, TV's off now. We're reading. And that's something that stuck with me forever. Like, and I read every single day. Sometimes I read over the weekend, I probably read about 10 hours total. But that,
Wow.
and then in combination with like the physical fitness aspect, by seeing my dad do these things and going to watch him do marathons and all the rest of it and triathlons. And I was like, man, this is cool. And yeah, now I get to do the same stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy too. I can't believe you're in that scope now, man. Like, obviously your followers and your clients know where you've come from. Like, holy shit, Joshy, like you're hooking on your runs now too. Do you know what I mean? You've gone and taken. You're a fucking paradox. That's gangster, bro. You're a paradox. You went
I
from.
tried. It was
Oh man, you were.
it was I was a big boy. But I was a really small boy first.
Yeah, that's you know what? Looking at you right now, I'm so proud of where you are. I'm said it heaps today, but like I'll always see you as that dude, and you're such a sweetheart, man. You're a sweetie, and I'll always see you that way. And I think that's why I'll always be a massive supporter of yours, bro, and I'll always be beside you because you're just doing amazing things, bro. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool because, like, I definitely consider you a good friend of mine. And I know that we have obviously gone our own ways and what we're doing with our lives. But when I was first kicking it with the big guy, when I was first kicking it with Yogs, I knew then I was like, man, I only want to be surrounded by people who inspire me. You know what I mean? I only want to be around people who inspire me because it feels so good. And I came to a point of realization of this recently. And now it's like, okay, I get it. Being around people who only, sorry, being around only people who inspire you is good and it's great. It's almost like it's really selfish. Yeah. Because you have to open the gate, man. And this is a big part of community. You have to open the gate for people to come and be inspired by you too. And unless you don't do that, man, that group of inspirational people, they start to shift off because they're already doing that. You know, they've already opened that gate to let people in. And if you close that and you're not gonna you gatekeep that, they're gonna outgrow you because different situations and different relationships help you grow more and more and more. And it's so incredible, man, when you realize that. It's like, okay, cool. And I know this with the dawn service because like anyone who comes to me is like, can I come and train? Can I come and try and train at 3:30? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Obviously, obviously it's going to be fucking hard. We've been doing this for 6 years, and like some people have made it through, bro. Really cool. And our current dawn service people, they're awesome. And some people realize like that it's not for me, but we still gave them the shot. You know what I mean? They still had that brief moment of inspiration, and I feel like that's a really cool vibe that we've taken on from AMPM as well. You wouldn't have come over if you didn't feel that. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny sometimes you miss things like that. So it's really hard to keep a full peripheral on moments like that, man. And like just seeing what you're doing, yeah, is amazing.
It is hard. It is like, and as you said, right, like I very much picture you the same way, like one of my close friends, and we've always, although we've not always like hung out, seen each other frequently and all the rest of it, every single time we have, it's as if nothing has changed. It's the same love, same energy, same vibe every single time. And I think that is something people do get caught up in, is they cling to this community and they cling to this hope or these people. And then as the people start to disperse and continue to live their life and do their thing, they sometimes maybe get a little bit disgruntled because they're like, oh, well, now I'm being cast out. And it's never been cast out. It's always the way in which you're perceiving that, but it's also the way in which you're perceiving and providing that energy yourself. So
yeah,
it's the same, as I said, like every single time we've seen each other on a walk at Burley or whatever, big hug, good morning, all the rest of it. And just we keep it moving. And we know that the love's always there, and it's always like that support's always there. And watching you and Ames and me obviously become really close friends when we were working together at EMF.
Yep.
And to see what she's gone and done since then. And like, I remember when she was leaving EMF to go and open her own gym for the first time. And she asked us, she's like, do you think it's a good idea? I was like, I think no matter where you go, you're going to thrive. No matter what you fucking do, you're just going to kill it anyway. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like you're going to just obliterate whatever it is. And at the time had one of the owners, she'll vouch for this, say, oh, you'll never make it without me. And I always thought that was such a wild spectrum of like only believing someone is successful because of you versus seeing someone as successful as an individual and knowing they'll thrive no matter where they go.
That's crazy. Once again, paradoxical nature. Watch me.
Yeah.
That's you, hey.
Yeah, it's one of those things,
That's
right?
you, hey, my brother.
We've always had, all of us have had to have a little bit of that dog in us and be a little bit like, hey, watch this then. Don't doubt me, I'll do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And like that's what separates us, hey, bro. That's what separates us. And that's why we're able to do what we do and lead our communities the way we lead them and continue to inspire people and let people in through that gate. Man, you're on, bro. You're on. Love that. Holy crap.
I think honestly, I think that's a beautiful way to wrap us up.
Cool, bro. Cool. Ames is going to froth when I chat
to a nice bow.
What's on for you now, bro? What are your plans over there? Yeah, she'll know. I'll have a yarn with her after. But what's on for you over the next 6 months, G?
Heaps.
Yeah.
I got a half marathon event Sunday.
Holy shit.
That'd be cool.
Joshy.
Yeah. Yeah, proper runner spec. It's a 22K for men's mental health. So it's a really cool event. And I was like, if I want to sign up to a first half marathon event, this is going to be the one.
Yeah. You're a full hybrid
now. Continue to grow. Yeah, continue to grow work, business, training.
Yeah.
Everything.
Will you
what about you? What's next for Legacy?
So for Legacy, we Alex and I have gone to a point now where all our debts are pretty much paid off after 4 years, and they say a lot of businesses don't make it past 2, so we're really really proud of ourselves and where we've gotten it. Ames has been huge for us, man. Bro. Fuck yeah. And then obviously now we're going to look at opening a couple more studios, hopefully. Boosting Ames's new business venture. Obviously, she's got her own line, and she'll want to be heading to obviously taking time off for baby. So that's what we're trying to work towards. We've hired a couple new coaches to take over at a private studio. You know Ames, bro. She won't last too long at being at home doing nothing.
No.
You get it, G. And yeah, I think next year, all I want to do, my brother, is work harder on myself than I do my job.
I love that. I really
And
love that.
hopefully that comes out. Hopefully we come out good on the other side. We're only here for a short time, my brother. Oh man, really, really grateful
You'll
to be.
never regret the work you do on yourself.
Yeah, nah, not at all. I'm so grateful to be on this potty with you too, and just like, man, we could have not done the podcast and just had this conversation. I would have felt the same way. It's an honor to be on your podcast, bro. And I would love to have more conversations with you outside the podcast on this too, man. This has been beautiful. It's so nice to see.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you doing what you're doing, man. I'm in awe of you at the
Appreciate
moment,
that, my man.
Straight up. Very
Hey,
cool.
as I said, I had phenomenal people to model myself off of as I grew. So
Yes, sir.
you included.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Been a journey. Before we do wrap up, though, I have 3 questions I ask every guest.
Let's go.
The first one: if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
You can't change the weather. You can't change the weather. But you can change what you do in it.
I like that.
You see little kids running around
Control the controllable.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You see little kids running around in floods and how much fun they have. Like you were saying before about the plants, and that was a beautiful way you put it, man. But yeah, you can't change it, man. And like, obviously, you know what I've been through in my past, and it's all happened for me, bro. You know, and remembering that and expressing gratitude towards it is a really difficult thing, and you know this, like, but once you do that, you start to realize that. So absolutely, that is that you can't change the weather, but you can absolutely change what you can do in it. So definitely that one.
I love that. Question 2: what's your favorite animal?
Oh shit. Oh, my brother, my favorite animal, man, would have to be a turtle. They just have this, like, I don't know, man. They just got this, like, this way of life. When you look at a turtle, right? They're just doing their own thing. Much like yourself in your podcast room. And I really love that. They just do their own thing. They're not worried about the world. If someone comes to bother them, they just go into their shell and come back out. I love turtles, obviously, because Yogs and the boys and the Ninja Turtles growing up as a kid was really special for me because it showed brotherhood. And you know how much I appreciate brotherhood and keeping your brothers close to you. So turtles would have to be my favorite for that reason, G.
I love that. That's fucking cool. No one said a turtle yet, so that's cool. I love
that. Very cool.
And the last but not least, what does strength mean to you?
This is a special one. This is a special one, bro. Oh man. Strength to me is going through the absolute pits of fucking hell and seeing someone go through the same thing. Saying, come here, get on my shoulders. I'll carry you through to the other side. I've got you. That's what real strength for me is. So many people going through shit, bro. And if you're going through it too and you have enough strength to be able to put someone on your back and be like, I got you. Come with me, I got you. That's where it's at. And I know I sound a little bit emotional about this at the moment, but when you're a part of the community, you have to do it. I try to live up to that every day. So that's it, man, for sure. Good question.
That's beautiful. That's honestly beautiful, bro. And you are a living testament to that from the moment I first met you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
That was amazing. For
Privilege
those
and an
listening
honor.
at home, for everyone who's listened to this episode, firstly, thank you so much for being here. As I said at the very start, I appreciate you for checking in and listening. And I'm going to put all of Jerry's information up in the show notes. I'll collab him on Instagram so you'll be able to find him and go and have a look at what he's doing. If you're on the Gold Coast, which I know quite a lot of you are who listen to this, go to Legacy, go and check it out. Go and see the community, go and see the vibe, drop in, see the team. And I can promise you that you'll understand what I mean when it's not group fitness, it's a fucking community like no other.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll catch you all on the next one.